What's going on, folks? Welcome to Got Your Back Off Night Edition. Take two. Jason Strudwick, Rob Brown are both standing by. The Oilers looking to close out the Kings tomorrow night. Lots to discuss tonight on the show. As always, we're coming at you from our Long Shot studio, where, remember, all Oiler game nights during the playoffs, all you can eat wings, $25 a person. Some conditions apply. Visit Long Shot Sherwood Park and check out the watch party. Bring the golf clubs. Watch some hockey. Great combination night of fun. As always, our program is brought to you by our fantastic title sponsor, Sherwood Buick GMC. If anybody you know is thinking about picking up a new set of wheels, new or used, you got to send them to go see Phil and the crew just off Baseline Road on the way into Sherwood Park. They got a big, beautiful showroom, tons of fantastic vehicles to look at. They know how to treat their customers. They'll respect your time. They've actually got vehicles that you can get out and test drive. They have stock. So highly recommend that you check them out. And make sure you mention that Got Your Back sent you. GMCpod.com is the website to see all that they have to offer. Okay, Jason Strudwick and Rob Brown standing by. Oh my snap. The glasses have made an appearance. Oh, Struts.
Seriously,
we've waited a week.
Who did you say who was he saying he looked like?
Waldo from the Where's Waldo cartoon?
I was thinking more Kurt Rambis. That's the first thing I looked at you, Kurt Rambis.
Now, Zuby, I believe he gave himself Ryan Reynolds was where he went with this.
Ooh, look. Yeah, no, he'd need more than glasses for that.
Listen, I listen. You guys are two aging males or three aging males that really have no sense. I can only deal with the things that people say to me as I walk by, as I walk through, the rubbernecking that happens. So yeah, here I am. Ryan Reynolds, like
no, there's someone. Hey, look, there goes Ryan Reynolds' dad walking down the street.
Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you, Brownie. That's the response I get when I wear these in the library in Starbucks.
Turn your head a little bit sideways, Struds. Let's see a side profile on him. Oh yeah. You know, okay. This is the thing. Guys with giant heads and fairly large noses, by the way, of which I am a member of both of these clubs.
Why do you keep saying I have a big head?
You have a giant head and a pretty significant nose, and I do too, so I'm allowed to make fun. No. It's hard to find glasses that work and look good, and I would say, Struds, those actually aren't bad. Those are pretty good. They're pretty solid. I think Ryan Reynolds is a stretch, but they're Zuby, what do you think, buddy?
I don't know if Messier wears glasses. I was getting a little moose when you went into profile there. I thought I was picking up a little Messier there. Yeah.
Hey, Struds, I'm going to help you out a little bit. My camera's falling. I do believe that you and Shogger have the same size head, but the problem is your body fits your head.
If Shogger was 6'3", that'd be the right size, right? It's no. Listen, I can only go off what people tell me. My wife, I mean, geez, she's getting a little handsy when I slip into these bad boys. It's like lingerie for her.
Oh man, the Coal Train on the chat says, "Hide your wives, folks." Here's Strudy. They're not bad, buddy. Actually, they're not bad. They're pretty good. Man. They're pretty good. The thing too is when you wear them on the pod. Like we got to change the angle of your light because when you look at the camera, you just two giant alien circles in the middle of them. So it's not helping your situation.
Well, someone on the stream is saying that's my halo.
So yes, you're dual halos.
Is that accurate?
Need you guys to settle a quick argument between Randine and I.
I agree with Randine.
Yeah.
So I get into the shower today. Good start to the story. Good start to the story. And, grab the body wash and start going to town. There's this stuff. Sorry, wait a minute. Washing. Start going to town, washing the arms and shoulders and cleaning myself. That's what I'm saying. So
I don't need this visual. I
won't be able to eat for a week.
Then all of a sudden, there's this smell, and I'm like, Why is this? What is this scent? This is not the scent of our body wash. What is going on? I look down. Randy, Steve, Chris, do you have the picture?
No.
Did I text you? So Randy, look at these two bottles. Randine put the dog shampoo right next to the body wash in the shower, and I bathed in dog shampoo as a result. So
you needed Struds' new glasses is what you needed.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't have been showering. I tell you, it slipped in these bad boys.
So look, my suggestion to her was, look, exact same size bottle, pretty dramatically different products. One only gets used every once in a while. Maybe let's just move that to the side or put it away. She immediately went to Facebook, and I've gotten murdered all night. But I feel like our YouTube audience and you guys will bring some common sense. Was I out of line in saying, like, maybe we need to separate those two? Like, pretty close.
You wouldn't have this great story to share with your friends and podcast mates if she would have separated them. So I'm on Randine's side. I have not changed my opinion.
Are they the same color, the bottles?
Well, no, one was blue.
Well, the label was different color, but the same size bottle.
Or green, I guess.
Exact same size bottle, same type of bottle.
So just to be clear, they're not the same color, right? So
not exactly.
How hard is it to figure out? I have you just started using this new body wash where you're going to town on yourself? Like, you should be able to find and see that just like same one, same color. I don't know. To me, this is a you problem. A you shoe. What do they call it? You shoe? Not a me shoe.
A you issue? Okay. Yeah. I'll take the loss. That's 2 losses, because that going to town on myself is never going to die. That will live on forever. That was terrible. No. Okay, thanks for the support, guys. Let's get to breaking down what went down at practice today, and that'll be brought to you by Mr. Dirk, the iconic men's clothing store, founded in 1939, just off White Avenue and 102nd Street. They have everything you need for every aspect of your wardrobe. Got a new suit coming. Looking forward to it. Should pick it up this week. They also got great casual stuff like jeans and pants, shirts, sweaters, shoes, everything that you need to elevate all aspects of your wardrobe. MrDirk.com is the website. Guys, we're starting the podcast tonight I know there's games going on. We sort of timed it out so that later tonight we can talk about some of the results. So we'll sort of put all that on pause, and we'll focus on the orders for the first little bit here before we get to anything else that's going on out there. Was down at practice today. Basically the same lineup, guys, except so Derek Ryan remained in, which I don't think was a surprise at all, but a promotion here for Dylan Holloway based on the lines today. So Holloway was bumped up with McLeod and Corey Perry. Fogle was down with Janmark and Ryan. That was the one notable change. And I guess, we've beaten the last game to death in our previous podcast, so maybe we'll just start there. Brownie, what do you think of Holloway potentially getting a bit of a kick up here in minutes and opportunity?
Well, what we talked about before the playoffs is I think all three of us thought that Holloway was a third-line player, that if he was going to play, those are the type of minutes that he deserved. And I think what we've seen thus far in the 5 or 6 games he played at the end of the regular season, what we've seen so far in the playoffs, he's earned those minutes. Warren Fogle, to me, he shows flashes of brilliance and then goes quiet for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I think the last couple games haven't noticed him as much. Kane's taken that spot on the top 6. And in all honesty, in the last couple games, Holloway's been the better of the two between him and Fogle. I think they'll both find ice time. But yeah, I think it's great for Holloway. The game was the last home game he was on. I think he played 9.5 minutes or something like that. Yet at the end of the game, you thought he played 17 because he was so noticeable. So I think that's a great idea, getting Holloway a little bit more ice time.
Averaging 9:23 a game, Struds.
Yeah, Brownie, I want to get your. I feel like Holloway scores goals easier than Fogle. I feel like Fogle powers it in or shovels it in, where I think Holloway maybe has a little more goal scoring touch. Is that fair?
Well, I think Holloway was drafted as a top 6 forward. I think he's got a higher ceiling. Mm-hmm. I mean, what is Fogle? What year is this in the National Hockey League for him?
Yeah, it's
5, 6, 7, something like that.
I can check here.
And this is his first 20-goal season, which is great, fantastic for him. But I think everyone had predicted that Fogle would be a third-line player. and Holloway's potential is top 6. So yeah, 100%. I think I think Holloway has a little more offensive upside. He's more of a pure goal scorer, pure offensive player than Fogle is.
Yeah. So I think that by putting him in there with Perry, Perry needs to play with some speed, or he's at best when he's with other speedy players. So they're not going to put a slower player beside him. But I think maybe they're hoping there's a chance maybe he can score a little bit more. That line hasn't scored a ton. Actually, have they scored at all? I don't think those guys have scored at all. Just Holloway is the only guy who scored, right? So maybe he can help kind of unlock a little bit more offense from that line. Who was actually having a pretty good series.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think so. It's interesting because Ryan McLeod too. I mean, you'd like some offense. You need some offense from that position in your lineup. For sure you do. But his analytics are really good. Like that's the thing with him is his underlying numbers are always really strong. You know, when he's on the ice, you know, his line tends to have possession. They tend to have, you know, be heading in the right direction. You know, he seems to do pretty well in those matchups. So you had said before, I don't know if you said it before or not, Brownie, but if your third line, or was it your fourth line? If your third line can be pretty even here.
To me, it's if your fourth line. If your fourth line is even, then you're successful.
Yeah.
I don't think your fourth line needs to score, but they can't get scored on. The third line, you would expect more from.
So to go deeper, this third line, they're going to have to find some offense from that third line.
I would think so, and they have played well. When it was Kane, Perry, and McLeod the first couple of games, they had a number of grade A scoring chances. They were unlucky. They were just unlucky in those games. But yeah, in all honesty, they're up 3-1 in the series. I think you could say that just about everybody is pulling the rope the same. This is a team that has played well. I don't think they were as good in Game 4. I thought the LA Kings were a little bit better for most of the game, but the Oilers still found a way to win a hockey game. And this is a team it's getting all through the lineup. People are contributing in the certain roles that they're comfortable in. I think that's good for this team.
Struds, if it's a re-rack and the same thing over again, is that okay for the Oilers, or do they need to do a better job of kind of getting back to carrying play and driving offense and all that? Like they don't want to have that game again, correct?
I came to the show tonight with an agenda. My agenda is to talk 5-on-5 hockey.
Okay.
And it's great that they're scoring on the power play and these things, but they haven't exactly killed it 5-on-5. So
the goals are 10-10.
5-on-5.
Even
correct?
strength. Yeah.
Even strength. Yeah. So I think they have to continue to keep working towards, creating and scoring 5-on-5. There's no doubt. It's fantastic. They've done a good job on the power play, but as you just outlined, they're even on 5-on-5. Now, if they move into the next series and the next group does a really good job of PK, and I've watched Vancouver, they've got a pretty decent PK. That might fall off. So this idea of 5-on-5 and winning that 5-on-5 battle night in, night out is something I really want them to focus on heading in. So re-racking, yeah, I have no problem with the lines being the same. I'm not going to critique one guy out or other one, but as a group on the whole, they've got to get more goals 5-on-5 in the playoffs. I think that is, or else, you know what, guys, the next series, if the PP is not working, we're going to be talking about that. So I'm just making you aware. This is an I told you so moment for about 10 days.
Or if the refs put the whistle away, Brownie.
Well, that or
last game.
The LA Kings last game took one penalty. The next series, whether if it's the Canucks or the Predators, they're going to say, okay, we'll play a hard physical game, but we're not taking penalties. And then the following series, same thing. Teams aren't dumb. They know that the Oilers power play is scary. So the LA Kings only took one penalty, and to me, I thought it was an iffy call. I thought both teams got one penalty. I thought they were both iffy calls. So, yeah, they do have to be. The LA Kings might be, or probably will be, the weakest team they play the rest of this playoffs. So if they're not better 5-on-5 than the worst team that they're going to play, well, then they're going to have to get better because Vancouver or Nashville or Colorado or Vegas or Dallas or Florida, all those teams are going to be much better. So, yeah, I think Struds is right. This team, I think they are capable of being better 5-on-5. It's not something that's out of their character. They are a better team.
100%. I put that same idea to Leon Draisaitl today. We'll get to the Weiss Johnson sound box. Remember, Weiss Johnson right now offering $200 off their Fantech HEPA filter system. So you want to be proactive in case those fires come back and it gets so dicey outside with all that smoke. It can keep your home comfortable in that situation. It's a filtration system. It's great for anybody that has respiratory issues as well. So again, they're offering $200 off their Fantech HEPA filter system. Zuby, apparently people have been concerned that I've been being too hard on you and Steve for not getting the Weiss Johnson jingle at exactly the right time. I just need you to say for the record that you too understand how important it is, that you're not taking offense, and it's just something we're trying to perfect because it's frankly what Weiss Johnson demands.
They demand perfection. They're kind of like, what does Kramer say about the soup Nazi in Seinfeld? He says the soup Nazi demands perfection from his soup, from himself. How can he not expect any less from his customers? That's why he treats them that way. Yeah. It's maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but it's the same thing. Weiss Johnson demands perfection. Right. We want to get it right.
Okay, so right after I say jingle, it has to go, all right? So you've got to contact them today for this amazing deal by visiting Weiss-Johnson.com today jingle. You're a little slow. Here's the thing on Draisaitl.
Nothing wrong with the way that game went. Obviously, we got to get on our toes a little bit more and attack a little bit more again and, present them a little bit more of a challenge in terms of defending.
Yeah, but Struds, the lack of offense, sure, but the way they defended, like Brownie, you should have heard Struds after that game, man. You weren't there. He was out of his mind with excitement about the way that game went. He loved every second of it.
You guys had a podcast?
Yeah. Oh shoot.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear. I hadn't heard about that.
Sorry about that.
Well, that's okay.
I didn't want to hear about the lack of goal scoring from you.
Well, you know what though? I don't think the Oilers brought their A game for the first 50 minutes, but in the last 10 minutes of the game, when the game was on the line, they were excellent. They kill a penalty, give up nothing on the penalty kill. And then you'll be love this Struds. I was in the gym on Monday riding the bike and they had a replay of the game on. The LA Kings got their last shot with 6:22 to go in the period in the game. Wow. So the last 6:22 in a desperation mode for the LA Kings, pulling their goalie, everything they need to win that game. The Edmonton Oilers gave up nothing. So to me, the last 10 minutes, the Edmonton Oilers were excellent in that hockey game.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong here, guys. I'm not asking the Oilers to turn this into a shootout type, but they want. I just want to see them. Now I know I was very, very positive in their last game, but you still have to keep working towards scoring 5-on-5, right? You got to wear the other team down, put pressure. So I think there's a couple of ways. One, I think the forecheck. Get back on that forecheck as quick as you can. I think back to the first game, the way they easily sliced through the Kings defense. And then getting to offense zone, then they ground and pound down there. And that's the game, ground and pounding down in the offensive zone. I really think that the Oilers are become a good cycling team and puck possession offensive zone, 5 players involved in it. That's what I want to see. We didn't see it last game. And I get it. LA was desperate, but now here we go. You're at home on a Wednesday night. I expect them to return to that, or I hope they return that and get some 5-on-5 control of this game and chances for.
Yeah. They did such a good job defending. For whatever concern there might be about the offense not having the pop that they would have liked, Brownie, those have to be, assuaged, if that's a word. Just with the quality of defending, like they didn't cheat. They didn't cheat the game, and I think if there's one thing that they can kind of feel good about is the idea that, that they didn't cheat the game.
Well, it's funny. You do podcasts and you have lots of people that you can see writing in and talking. We do the sports shows with Chad, and we get callers. And the one thing everyone talked about all season long, before the playoffs, the Oilers' goaltending is going to be a question mark, and their defense are going to be a question mark. And we had Desharnais, Ceci, Bouchard, Nurse always mentioned, and then Skinner. We had after game 2, Skinner's not good enough to lead this team. I think what we've seen so far in the playoffs is the Oilers' defense has been very good. Ceci, I think, has been excellent in this series. Struds would know more about the defense than I do. And Skinner was absolutely outstanding in the 2 games in Los Angeles. So it's funny that right now we're talking about 5-on-5 scoring. Don't have to worry about the defensive play, as Shaugher just said, because defensively the Oilers have been very good here. The last few games have been excellent.
Yeah, there's no doubt they've been solid. And it's fun. It's an element of the game that we've talked about, and I think that we want to see continue to improve. But I am looking ahead. I'm looking ahead to the next couple series, or next series, I suppose, where there's been some low scoring games, or could be.
Chris Knobloch, on the team defending.
Yeah, there's some other things that we wanted to improve on, defensive zone coverage, but mostly line rush defense. And, that's defensemen making reads, forwards working a little bit harder, coming back, those little things. But I don't know if there's ever a time that we said, oh, now we've got it. We're always working at it, because as soon as you think you've got it, the next day we're working on it again.
Yeah, and I didn't quite set that up properly, Struds. I remember why I pulled that clip. So he says line rush defending. So the question he was asked about the changes that they made when they first got here and what they wanted to focus on. And what was the one more time?
Yeah, there's some other things that we wanted to improve on, defensive zone coverage, but mostly line rush defense. And
line rush defense was what stood out to me, Struds, and maybe understanding specifically what he means by that.
Well, so it's any play off the rush. So they break out of their zone, or there's a regroup and they're coming down on you. And, just not giving up scoring chances. What game was I watching earlier? Was it Boston, Toronto? They all kind of blend in, but there was a ton of chances against off the rush. And it's really frustrating. You should take a lot of pride in that. And again, the deal is that the D-men will stay up and put pressure if the back checkers if the forwards are back checking.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the Oilers did a good job, pretty good job of that back checking last game. So I think they got to continue to work that. And again, it's the Kings, but then if Canucks next, they've got some pretty dangerous guys off the rush that have some speed and like to make plays. And then you move on past them, it's Dallas or Vegas or whoever, Colorado. So I think it's, I know it's a playoffs, and you don't think you can improve a lot as a team, but you can add things and become determined in one way or another how you're going to play, and just shut other teams down, because scoring off the rush is something that the other teams did really good job limiting from the Oilers the last couple of years in the playoffs.
Struds, did you notice how when we started talking about defending and the definition of it, and you got into did you know how Brownie just checked out? Look at it, he's doing it again.
Yeah, no,
he just completely checked out.
I was watching the Canucks game. It's 1-1 now.
They scored in the power play?
Yeah, Nashville just scored in the power play right now, so it's 1-1. But you talk about defending the rush. The LA Kings aren't as dangerous on the rush, but as the Oilers go further in the playoffs, the teams are going to get better. I mean, I watched Colorado, all their goals come on the rush. And that's something we've seen the Oilers struggle with at times during the season. Mm-hmm. They've been good in the playoffs, but again, it's all about reads, Struds? You got to read where I am. Okay, where's the back checker coming back? Am I coming on this side? Great example on the rush, the Kopitar goal, the overtime goal. Darnell Nurse was on too far on the other side of the middle part of the center zone, like kind of a red line down the middle of the ice. He was too far over on a rush, and he got caught chasing.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to hold off on Relentless Player of the Night, Struds, because I think we'll let some of these results come in still. So we'll do that a little bit later on in the podcast. So Zuby, for now, we're going to wrap this segment, and we'll go to break. When we come back, we'll dig in a little bit more. Did you hear Jay Woodcroft's comments on the radio? He was on with Real Kipper and Bourne. Not sure if you heard that or not. We'll play that for you, and we will discuss, and we'll dig in a little bit more looking ahead to Game 5. So stay with us. Quick break here. The fastest growing male grooming company on the planet just got even better. Backscape 2.0 with a revolutionary friction fit handle makes the razor easy to pop in and out to shave not only your back, but anywhere on your body. And those hard to reach spots just got even easier with the new ergonomic design. Backscape's new titanium shave head makes for a smoother, more comfortable shave that respects your skin. Backscape 2.0. Stay smooth, gentlemen.
On paper, my life looks exciting.
In reality, not so much.
Every day it's same old, same old.
Clock in, clock out.
Then I discovered Play Alberta. I can play casino games anytime.
Bet on any game.
And buy lottery tickets anywhere in Alberta. I think my spleen is ruptured.
All right, let's get to our takeaways, brought to you by FG Promotions, your place for all corporate and team merchandise, from apparel, jerseys, gifts, and golf tournament prizes. Corporate customers even get personal discounts on golf gear for their employees. That sounds like a great deal. Top shelf quality, amazing customer service. Visit fgpromo.ca and get 10% off your first order when you mention Got Your Back. That's fgpromo.ca. Did you guys catch Jay Woodcroft on Real Kipper and Bourne? Brownie, did you hear it?
No, I did not. Sorry.
I didn't see it live, but I read the quotes.
Read the quote. So I've got them here, and we'll courtesy our friends over at Real Kipper and Bourne as we're borrowing their sound here. But yeah, Kiprios just said, kind of asked Jay Woodcroft, like, hey, what have you seen from the Oilers, and what do you think here? What have you seen so far? And here was the former head coach.
Well, I haven't watched much of the Edmonton Oilers since I was let go there in November. It was a choice I made that, I spent more time studying the league and studying trends that are occurring during the league. For me, I've spent a lot of time during this playoffs watching the Eastern Conference. And like I said, I've been very impressed, specifically with the competition level.
And then he went on to discuss, the hard checking and how competitive it is out east. But kind of interesting that he made mention of the fact that he made the decision personally not really to pay much attention to the Edmonton Oilers and didn't really have an answer for, how they've been looking or whatnot. Struds, every coach that gets let go at a certain point has to kind of re-enter the fray a little bit, and they're all going to face that question. I don't know. What do you think, Struds?
I'm not surprised. Like, if and now it didn't happen to me, but if a girlfriend of mine had dumped me, and I wouldn't be going to watch her go on another date with another guy. Like, that's just not what I'm not about that. So I'm not really surprised. I think I'm just guessing, probably feels like, he had still work to do there or here, and he would have liked to have been a part of that. So I totally get it. I think it's interesting. He said, I've been watching the Eastern Conference, just in case any GMs are listening or presidents are listening out there. Like, it's kind of a reappearance. It's this time of year. There's been you got the Sharks out. I know they're not in the East. Back and looking for a coach. Again, I know they're not in the East, but it's just like a way like, hey, everyone, I'm still here. This is what I'm doing. I've been studying, looking at trends, like all those things. Like it's an ad for or canvassing for a job. But no, Brownie, I wouldn't watch the team that just fired me. Why? What do
I wouldn't either. No, I agree. I wouldn't be watching them. I mean, there's probably, I don't know if I'll ever say it, but a little bit of bitterness. I mean, he had a 600 plus winning percentage with this organization. He's had success here. I'm like, he went through a rough patch, but he's still a good coach that had poor goals. Well, I mean, the whole team played bad for him for a small stretch. So I'd be a little bitter. And all these coaches he's looking for another job. The Eastern Conference, though, I think he's probably looking out there. There's probably more jobs becoming available. He's thinking, okay, these places here are going to need a new coach here. So I'm going to be a little more attentive out east. So that's my guess. I don't know if anyone thought Hackstall would be fired. I mean, it's kind of funny. 2 of the 3 coaches that were up for Coach of the Year last year have now been fired. Ruff and Hackstall both up for Coach of the Year, which is kind of silly. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me anything with what he said right there.
So I agree for the most part, but just for the sake of the conversation here, I'll play devil's advocate a little bit here. And I like Jay. So this isn't, I'm not trying to be hard on him or anything like that. If it were like December 15th or even January 1st, I might kind of be, I get that. But, how many months ago is this? And, I think if you're another team, and you're like, what if he gets asked that question in an interview? What if you're another team that brings Jay Woodcroft in an interview, and let's say another team in the Western Conference, and you're like, tell me about the Oilers. What did you make of their finish? One of the most important jobs you're going to have is figuring out how to tackle the Edmonton Oilers if you're a Western Conference team. So I don't know. It just seems to me like I get it for a few months for sure, but at a certain point when you're getting back into the business of coaching, I mean, and lots of coaches face this question, like on the Ray and Dregs pod this year, we had Dean Evison on, he faced that question. Berube came on, he faced that question. And it's just like, I don't know. It just seems like the answer of, wish the guys well. And it looks like things are going well. And, that's probably the more politically correct answer. And Jay was honest, which I have no issue with, but it just feels a little like we're quite a ways past that. And I don't know, just it caught me a little bit off. It caught me off guard a little bit, Struds. I thought, oh, still can't watch the team. You know, and if I'm a team that's considering hiring him, it's like, well, you probably need to, because we might need to play that team and beat them. So you might want to watch them.
Yeah, I disagree. I think that he has the most intimate knowledge of this team other than
That's
current coach. I think he would know. I mean, there's no one, you can study him from afar as much as you want, but actually being their coach, there's nothing like it. And then this is what I think, Shagar. I think you go back to September 1st, the Oilers thought was they're going to make it to the Stanley Cup and Jay would be their coach. That's what we all talked about. You know, 6 weeks later, it's a disaster. 6 weeks after that, he's fired. Like I wouldn't want to look back either. Like I think it's pretty traumatic, quite honestly.
But he wasn't asked to look back. He was asked to talk about right now.
Means go look at the team anymore. Yeah.
Just go. Like it's just a very traumatic issue. I don't think I would do it either.
No,
if I was another team and said, hey, how are you going to beat the Oilers? Well, I coached them for a long time. I know those guys as well as anybody. I know what works well. I know what works against us. Like I don't know.
What if they asked the question, what did you notice the Oilers improve after you left? Like what do you think you could have done better there? What'd they improve?
It's simple. I didn't watch them.
Yeah. I can check.
I mean, there's 31 other teams in the National Hockey League, so they can't say, hey, what'd you think about this team, this team, this team, this team? He knows that the Oilers better than any team. I'm all with what he said, and I give him credit, because the other coaches that are telling you I wish them well, they aren't watching their teams either. They don't care.
You don't.
No.
You don't wish them well.
No, they fired you.
Team, you're not wishing well.
No.
A team cuts you and you have to go to another. You're not wishing well.
I mean, more the players, though, Struds. Like Evison talked about a few of the guys on the team and that sort of thing. That's all.
Yeah, you can wish Connor well to play well. It doesn't mean you want the team to win. I mean, I don't know. I don't ever remember leaving a team, Brown, and saying, man, I hope those guys going to win the Stanley Cup. Andy.
Struds, I did. I left the Penguins at Christmas, and they went on to win the Stanley Cup back-to-back years. So, yeah. No, I was really happy for them. It made me feel good sitting at home watching them on TV.
All right, fair enough. Good points by you guys. And by the way, what he says publicly, I mean, I'm sure he's wished many of the guys well behind the scenes, right? So I'm not suggesting that he's not doing that. It just caught me a little bit funny, Struds. Like you brought up the girlfriend analogy, and I don't know, is it a little bit like your girlfriend saying to you, like, oh, tell me about your ex, and you're like, I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it.
No,
your girlfriend's looking at you like, well, why? What's the? I can't.
No, that's where and he's not saying I can't. He's saying I haven't really paid attention. So what's your ex-girlfriend like? I don't know what she's doing anymore. I don't pay attention to her anymore.
That's a different question.
Well, that's what they were asked. What are you watching? What are you doing with the Oilers playing right now? And you're like, I don't know. I'm not watching them.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's working at Aritzia selling clothes. Like, you're not getting too deep into it. I mean, I know what you're saying, Chuck, and I get it. And I do think, Jay, I think if you said to the players, I truly hope you guys do well. But I just don't know if you really mean it in your soul. Like, no, because it should be you. You should be
100%
hands on the wheel.
And he's a very confident person that feels that if he was left to do this job, that he could have taken this team this far.
And competitive.
Sure. Yeah. And competitive. Guys, let's talk about the challenge of closing out and mentally what it's like for both sides. So Struds, when you're facing elimination, when it's all on the line, it's pretty easy, I would assume, to summon certain parts of your game, certain parts of your competitiveness, as opposed to, maybe juxtapose that with trying to be the team that closes out. And what the challenge is for them mentally to make sure that they can match that, because the cornered cat is always going to come out a little bit scrappier. What's the key, man? What's the key to making sure?
Well, if I knew that, I'd be the head coach in the NHL right now. Although I wouldn't be here with you guys, so I probably wouldn't be a head coach. But when like I'll be honest, I didn't have a lot of opportunities to close series out when I played in the NHL. I did in junior a bit more and in the minors. But what I believe to be true after talking to other people and kind of watching is that you have to match the energy of the opponent you're playing. But you also have to make sure your details are really in order and not be afraid of failing, not be afraid of making a mistake or missing a shot. Like you have to play with the confidence and determination to get the job done. So when I look ahead to game 5 for the Oilers, they've got to come out. No LA is going to come out scrappy, just like they did in game 4. But you've got to match that. But you still got to believe in what you're doing and go do your thing and just play your game and dictate kind of what's happening out there for that final clincher, Brownie.
Well, it's funny. There's a couple teams tonight that are in that same situation the Oilers are. The Boston Bruins on home ice. They lose to a Toronto team missing Matthews.
Yeah.
Right now, the Canucks are losing now to Nashville. It's 2-1 for Nashville. I think it's a little harder to close out on home ice because the away team saying their whole thought all day long today will be, let's just get back to LA. It's not let's win a series. Let's just get back to LA. And the Oilers, there's the pressure's on them to win here because they don't want to go to LA. Right now, everyone has counted the LA Kings out. They're like, they're down 3-1. They're going to Edmonton. Edmonton's the better team. The series is over. So LA right now, tomorrow's game, they're on borrowed time. So to me, it's harder to close out on home ice because the LA Kings, there's that pressure. You don't want to lose on home ice because now you got to go back to LA now on the road. And it's like, now they got a little bit of momentum going. I mean, this could get to game 7. So to me, it's the LA Kings or the away team, the Nashville Predators, the Toronto Maple Leafs. All they're saying is, let's just get back home. Let's everything we have here and lay it on the line. And we saw tonight Toronto win. Right now, Nashville's winning. So it's to me, it's a wake up call for the Oilers tomorrow, saying, you know what, the 4th is the hardest one to win. We got to bring our A effort because anything less than that, we could be going back to Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, especially because the offense, they didn't have a lot of swagger offensively coming out of that last game. And it'll be interesting to see what they bring to the rink tomorrow night. All right, let's get to Hamel's Beef Jerky and Brownie Points. This Alberta-based family-owned business opened in 1962. Their beef jerky, out of this world. The month of April, get 3 pounds of beef jerky for $85 and free shipping. You can mix and match for their 14 flavors. Fast shipping anywhere in Alberta at all. Visit albertajerky.com. And actually, I do believe they have a different special that's starting for the month of May. I will try and find that. But Brownie, why don't you bring your brownie points, my friend?
Well, my first brownie point was going to be 31 brownie points to Artur Shilov, the goalie phenom, the third stringer who's in net for the Vancouver Canucks. But now they're losing 2-1, so we're just going to scratch that. So I've got 31 more in my pocket. I've got 10 brownie points to the Edmonton Oilers, who have 10 different goal scorers thus far. We're only 4 games into the playoffs, and the Oilers already have 10 different guys that have scored. They want a depth scoring. They want to go on a run. That's a pretty good start for the Edmonton Oilers. It's not just on the back of Connor and Leon and Hyman. 10 different guys have scored. I got 53 brownie points to the Edmonton Oilers power play, clicking at a smooth 53% so far. That is unbelievable. You cannot take a penalty if you're the LA Kings because you might lose a game 1-0. 8 power play goals, and as Strud said earlier tonight, it's 10-10 and even strength right now in this series. The reason the LA Kings are down 3-1 is the Edmonton Oilers power play has 8 goals and 100 brownie points to the Edmonton Oilers penalty kill, which right now is clicking at 100%. You have 8 power play goals. You have given up 0. You're going to be up in the series 3-1. And a new one added because I had some extra brownie points in my pocket. You know what? I don't have enough in my pocket, actually. I'm going to take some more back. I'm taking 50 brownie points away from Schauger.
What?
For putting the visual of himself going to town in me and Strud's minds and everyone listening on the podcast. I might not sleep tonight. It might be a gummy NyQuil night for me tonight to be able to get me through
really
this.
Bad. That was super bad. That was a strut. That's called pulling a struddy. Like normally those mistakes are reserved for struds.
Oh no! You're going to town. Now you're pulling your struddy. This has just been you lose another 50 brownie points.
I never say stuff like that. That is way out there. Like
you always do.
I don't
always
like
do. Oh goodness, we just gotta let that one die. Zuby, you're gonna have to go back and edit that out,
please.
By the way, the new special until May 15th from Hamel's Beef Jerky, $77. You get 4 half-pound packs of jerky. So, and your choice of flavors. So that's until May 15th. $77, 4 half-pound packs of jerky. That was brownie points. Some mention on the stream that I'm no longer calling it the best segment. Bill Hampton pointed that out.
Wow.
Brownie, that's because you were not there last time. And Strudy had an amazingly good Strudy's World.
Ooh.
And so as of right now, Strudy's World has the current title as best segment on the podcast. So you have a chance to win it back each week. I'm not sure you're going to do it tonight, though, with those brownie points, because Struds is going to bring it too. So when we come back, Strudy has a chance to retain his title as best segment on the podcast. Strudy's World is coming up. For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has been delivering a high-quality golf experience to Edmonton and area. This beautiful private club, located on Highway 21 just south of Sherwood Park, occupies 160 acres and presents a challenging yet adventurous 18-hole design. A beautiful clubhouse, fully stocked pro shop, and warm, friendly staff truly make it feel like you belong to something unique and special. Visit www.belvederegcc.com. Long Shots Golf is the destination for both golf enthusiasts and sports fans. Top-of-the-line TrackMan simulators provide a highly entertaining and accurate golf experience, while a full-service sports bar loaded with big screens and scratch kitchen make it a truly unique destination. They have locations in Sherwood Park and Edmonton. Experience the best indoor golf and sports bar in town. Visit longshots.ca. That's longshots with a Z.ca.
Spring is here, and if you're thinking of buying a new home during the housing market hot period, contacting a mortgage broker should be your first step. Maria Gallus with Maximo Mortgages can guide you with a stress-free experience. With access to dozens of different lenders, Maria's simplistic approach and expert advice will have you ready to put an offer in on your dream home. Take the stress out of your mortgage journey. Contact Maria Gallus at mortgagesbymaria.ca. That's mortgagesbymaria.ca.
Oh, I'm off.
Oh.
Off my game. Hang on. Let me
That's
make
okay,
that
buddy.
happen.
You got it. Zuby, you want me to just roll with the ad read? We don't need the intro to Strudy's World. We don't need it.
We don't?
No, you're good, buddy. You're dealing with a lot back there. Time now for Strudy's World, brought to you by Shipwreck Rum. There, you got the music. Perfect, pal. If you have not yet had the experience of this amazing flavored rum blended on the Caribbean island of St. Kitts, do yourself a favor, grab a bottle today. The Brindley family's been crafting Shipwreck in small batches for decades. Get Shipwrecked, Oiler fans, available at your local liquor retailer. And as always, please enjoy responsibly. Strudy, what do we have on the menu tonight, my friend?
Spring cleaning. I love it. I love getting out. I purge things out of my office and the garage. And then obviously this past weekend, it was time to sweep out the old garage. I don't know what it is about that. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love just getting a bit of a scraper, scrape that grit and grime off my the bottom of my garage, sweep it up and take it all and just throw it onto the street for the sweep cleaper or
Street sweeper.
Street sweeper. Thanks.
Gotcha.
For the
I got
English,
your back.
to pick that up. And it's just such a good feeling. The whole garage just feels so much better. You know, I get in the nooks and crannies. I know a lot of people do shortcuts. They don't sweep in the corners. They don't go underneath their cupboards. I get it all out. And it's clean as can be. And it just feels so good. You drive your truck, your car into there. It just sings. It's like, thank you. Like, you're welcome. So if you haven't done it in a few years, if you haven't done it in a few years, you got a real problem. But it's never too late to scrape it, clean it out. I'm telling you, your car, yourself, and all that grit not coming in your house will be such a nice change. You're welcome.
So approximately how long do you spend on this particular assignment?
Not long, like 30. It takes me about 30 minutes.
And do you do the full garage or only your side? Like, does Shona have to sweep out her own side?
Well, that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't think that would come up
James
tonight.
Kane was wondering that. Yep.
So what I do is I say, can you please leave your car outside for a couple of days just so everything can dry? Like, if you're bringing grit in or whatever, just let it dry out. I just want it completely dry. Then I go and I sweep it out after that. So if she chooses not to, that's fine. That's her choice. Then her side won't be swept out, won't be swept clean.
How does the brown garage look?
Dirty.
Like, how bad, Brownie? Is it really bad?
Too much in the gym.
Yeah, I'm spending a lot of time at the gym, so I don't have time to do any of the cleaning around the house. Not going to win any awards. Not going to be on the podium. They might not even give me a participation ribbon for the way my garage looks right now. It's I don't. I don't take pride in my garage, Shogger. I don't.
You don't, eh? Do you have tools? Do you know how to use tools and things? Do you have tools?
All my neighbors have tools, and when I ask to borrow them, they come over and do whatever it is that I wanted to be done because they don't trust me with the tools.
But
It's a safety thing. It's a safety thing.
It's not like it's a chainsaw or a welder or something like that. Like
you could pull a back muscle or something with a big broom.
Sweep it out. It feels.
I have sweeped it out. It's not every year. I do. When I do it, I take everything out, and then I get I don't do every, and then I get the water sprayer thing that goes really hard. What's that thing called?
Pressure washer.
That thing. Yeah, one of those. Yeah.
I
use
pressure
that.
washer is overkill. You don't need to pressure wash it. You need to sweep.
Oh, but it's fun though. It's seriously, it's fun. And then like a kid will walk by and you'll spray the kid. And then I just love doing that. And you put your head down like, I don't know what happened. Here's a quick story. I had 3 years ago, I had to go to the hospital because I had a heart problem. Next day I had to go to the hospital, had a stroke. They let me out of the hospital and I walked home. Yeah, this is 3 years ago. So I'm walking home from the hospital to my house. And as I'm walking home, I'm a little out of it because of the drugs and been in the hospital for 12 hours. As I'm walking home, I get punched in the face. Hat comes off, glasses go off. I'm like, what the hell happened? I look, somebody had been blowing out their sprinklers and the sprinkler came up and hit me dead in the face. Dead in the face. Knocked my hat off, knocked my glasses off. Oh, I had a little bit of a bloody nose. So it's dangerous when you're doing these cleaning jobs, Struds. That's why I let the professionals do it, like my wife.
Unreal.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's tough being me.
There's one thing I can guarantee both of you. Neither of you is happy standing in your garage as happy as I am. My garage is my happy place, boys. I mean, just golf and golf away. And I gave it one good sweep, Struds. That's the last one it's going to get because now it's just nice and finished.
And now you're going to have to just, push all the snow off your trucks and cars.
I did
in the wintertime.
I did Randine's vehicle this morning. I did. I went out and did her vehicle as penance for stealing the garage.
I still can't believe that is acceptable in your home. I don't get it. I don't get it.
If anybody is listening to our show and not watching the hockey games, the Vancouver Canucks are going to Game 6.
Yeah.
That's
just
a good
finished,
thing.
eh? There it is.
It's a good thing for Oilers fans, I'm telling you. That's positive.
It is a positive, but that probably means the Oilers aren't opening up Sunday in Vancouver.
You want to golf Monday, Struds?
What day is it today? Thursday? Tuesday?
All right, we'll do that math. We're gonna take a lap next, and we're gonna talk about some of these series and some of these results. We wanted to wait until all the results were in, so Struds and I'll dig into that. Brownie, you're good to go, buddy. Thanks, bud.
Yeah.
I'll say, you know what? I had a vote, and I voted that my segment was better than Strudy's.
Go
Okay.
sweep your garage.
Send us a picture of your garage.
No.
Struddy showed us his glasses. You got to show us your garage.
No,
Next pod.
That ain't happening.
Don't show Holly my glasses. Jeez.
Look out.
And they look the same as Holly's glasses.
Zuby, do we have any more breaks, or are we we're rolling? There he goes.
We're rolling now.
Look at he just dropped the mic and left the podcast on that.
Funny.
That was a strong exit, Struds.
It was good. It was a good one.
That was really good. Okay, we're just rolling right through then. Okay, we got some results to talk about. So it is time now to take a lap, brought to you by Backscape, the fastest growing male grooming company on the planet. And it's even better, right? With their 2.0 handle. It's awesome. Engineered for back shaving. The friction fit handle allows you to effortlessly snap the shaver in and out to touch up the rest of your body. Go to backscape.com. We got a promo code for you. GYB10 will get you 10% off your first order of an advanced or deluxe 2.0 kit. That's bakscape.com. Backscape. Stay smooth, gentlemen. Okay, Struds, we've got multiple results to talk about. The Canucks are just in. You want to start there? What do you want to do?
Let's start at the one that we knew was going to happen. Carolina and New York Islanders, right?
Yep.
So the Carolina wins 6-3. I'm going to be completely honest. This did not interest me at all. I hate watching the Islanders. I knew Carolina was going to pull this one out. I think I actually picked them in 5, and I think I got that right. So Carolina wins 6-3. They win this series in 5 games.
5 games, yep.
So really, I don't think we need to talk on that one a lot. Other than that, the Carolina is a good team.
Okay, very good. So they're moving on.
Next one, Toronto beats Boston. Good game by Toronto. No Matthews, Joseph Wall in the pipes. and they get it done.
He made some great saves late in that game, man. He made some excellent saves.
Well, to start the overtime, I thought he made some massive saves early. Both teams were just going for it, looking for the knockout early. And the Leafs get it with Matthew Nyes. He's a good young player, big, strong guy. He gets it in overtime. So 2-1. Going back to Toronto, who knows if Matthews will be up and running by then. But game 6 in Toronto, this is shaping up to be a pretty fun night for their next game.
Just taking a look at Mitch Marner's stats line here, because a lot of focus on Marner, right? And then with Matthews not in the lineup tonight, of course, there'd be even more. So he ended up with an assist, 21:45 of ice time, couple of shots. He did have 10 shot attempts, and there was quite a bit of focus on him. You know, from what I saw, Struds, like he had a couple of really nice back checks that I saw. He set up a couple of guys that missed opportunities, could have easily had more offense. I thought Mitch Marner was better and more noticeable tonight than maybe what we had seen so far. He met the moment of Austin Matthews not being in the lineup, I would say.
Yeah, better, for sure, better. I mean, Mitch isn't the biggest guy. So, you know, and I've seen a lot of people talking about if he's not scoring, what is he doing? And I agree with that. I do agree, but he's never going to be throwing the body around, right? He's never going to do that.
That's not who he is.
But you can still compete in other ways. You can still be hard on the puck and back check, as you talked about. And I did think he looked better. Not really surprised. It was a low scoring game. You know, both teams are, you know, and we talked about it earlier, you know, closing out a series is hard. But man, I love this now at home. Game 6, the Bruins still have 2 chances to lock this down. But, you know, Matthews, if the big poppy can feel good coming back in game 6, you know, maybe a little energy created for that group could be a pretty fun one.
Well, and doubt creeping into the minds of the Bruins maybe a little bit, right? They've been down this path.
Yeah.
They felt that. And that's a real thing, isn't it? Like it grabs you, doesn't it? I would assume.
Yeah, I think it does. Now, a lot of those guys on that team have been through it, right? Led by their captain.
Yeah.
So I think that it's maybe a little bit different than a team who hasn't. Let's say it's Canucks, like the Canucks. No one's really been through it over there.
Yeah.
So a little bit different feeling, but I do think you're right to a point, just because it's a somewhat more playoff experienced team they have there.
Hit on Winnipeg, season Dunsville. Anybody on this podcast call that series right and get ridiculed?
And I Jets in 6. What did you have?
Remember I took Colorado and you were like, what?
Yeah.
You couldn't believe it. Whatever.
Give the goaltender credit. You
Yeah.
know, Gordiev kind of figured it out. But I think the complete story is Hellebuck. You know, give up 5 goals in 5 games. Like that is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous that would happen. I'm not blaming the series on him, but I never thought that was going to happen with that goaltender. So tons of questions there in Winnipeg. Like, what the hell just happened? What just happened to us? Shell shock, man.
You know, it's an interesting year for them because there was so much talk about some pretty important players potentially getting traded, you know, or in the off season. Then everybody just ends up signing and staying, and it's like everything was going to be hunky dory.
Yeah.
And then they were a really good team. A few ups and downs for sure, but a really, really good team. And a lot of people, most people picked them to take out the Colorado Avalanche. And like, Colorado should not be taken lightly, man. They're a very good team, as they've shown here. But bit of an odd year for Winnipeg. Maybe, you know, got past expectations in the regular season, probably exceeded expectations in the regular season, Strudy, but this is a big disappointment that there wasn't more of a fight put up here.
It just seems to be a trend with Winnipeg. Is, you know, they're like San Jose of what, 2000, you know, early 2000s, where you always think they're going to do more than they do, and they end up disappointing, or coming up short. Disappointing is maybe a bit unfair, but they come up short.
Yeah.
So I just honestly, I thought Winnipeg was going to win that one. Just goaltender. That setup, it did not play out at all like I expected. And I give you full marks for seeing something I didn't in that matchup.
So then you've got the Nashville Predators hanging on here against the Vancouver Canucks, the other main result tonight. Would have been nice for Vancouver to have gotten the rest, to have closed this thing out. But the Predators are plucky, man. They've been plucky since the trade deadline. One of the best teams in the league to close out. And pretty solid effort in tonight's game. I got to watch a pretty good chunk of it before we got going. They work hard. They're meat and potatoes. They work hard.
This series could be 3-2 Nashville. if they hadn't screwed up the last 4 minutes of their game and overtime in Nashville. So now they're down 3-2. They're going back to Nashville. Can they do another game like this? You're just gritty and not a lot of offensive chances going on across the lineup. So I think, we just talked about Boston. I think Vancouver's probably like, okay, we probably didn't deserve to win that game in Nashville. Now we're going back there. And if Nashville can win this one, game 7 in Vancouver,
it's a crapshoot, man.
I'll take
At that point, but they got to close it out here.
They do. But if they don't, I think it's a great story. So I think it's fantastic. May 3rd, it'd be the next game for them. So that's Friday, right? I think, is it Friday?
Is that when it is? Yeah, I think
so.
So we can check. I can check the schedule.
So Friday would be game 6. I'm guessing game 7 would be Sunday, Monday.
I've got Sunday the 5th. Yeah, Sunday the 5th would be their game 7. Tough travel in that series too, hey?
Oh, cheer for Nashville. You want to get these guys grinding down and get them, the flights, everything. And especially if the Oilers can lock it down. Because if let's say the Oilers lock it down tomorrow, and then let's say the next series would be even Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
That's one game they've had since that previous Monday, like in 8 days. They'll be rested. The Oilers will be rested. Vancouver or Nashville, either one. Not quite so much.
Yeah. Any comments on Dallas, Vegas? We'll just kind of finish around the horn here in the West. They're knotted up.
Yeah. Good. I watched a good chunk of that one last night too. Slight changes of the lines, for Dallas, mixing things up a little bit. Wyatt Johnson going up, Pavelski coming down. That's kind of, to see a young player step up and play like Wyatt Johnson and push a veteran down, I think that's a real positive thing and I don't think Pavelski would be pissed. He wants to see these types of things happen. It's good for the team.
Yeah. Good point by you. All right. In our first segment, we never got to the Relentless player of the night because we wanted to give games a chance to close out here, Strud. So I know you were going to pick something from the night. It's brought to you, as always, by UCAN Youth Services, an Edmonton charity that's relentless in helping youth age 16 to 24 get out of harm's way and find employment. Visit ucan.ca to see how your donation can change lives right here in our community. We are a proud monthly donor here on Got Your Back, and certainly encourage you, if you can, take a look at doing the same if you can. Struddy, who gets the Relentless player of the night tonight?
Johnny Tavares. I saw this play live, and I'm like, this is it.
The net drive.
Net drive, the wide net drive, and he doesn't go behind the net, doesn't whatever. He drives in there, just throws it at net in overtime. It goes off a stick or off a foot, off a stick, and just laying there, and Nyes pounds it in the back door for the overtime winner. And I love that, like, just not being denied. The old wily veteran, the crusty old veteran, drives it and gets pucks in the net. And in overtime, how often do you see, quote unquote, ugly goals, end them? And I thought it was fantastic by him. So as soon as I saw it, I wrote it down. Relentless, John Tavares.
That's big, man. For that team to win that game without Austin Matthews.
It's huge. It's huge.
Especially if he can come back next game. And we're hearing combination of injury and illness. We'll see. But if he emerges and can be 75, 80, 85%, and then they know the way they had to play to win this game, buddy, that's a big boost for them.
Oh, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. And just obviously winning a game, getting a bit of momentum, especially in Boston in a closeout situation. I I give the Leafs fans a hard time, but I really like that play by John Tavares and Matthew Nyes, who's, as a player, is going on me big time.
All right, let's get to our Ask Us Anything segment. We appreciate everybody that's been joining us here on the live stream tonight. Actually, Zuby, you want to do the hat giveaway first? Might as well do the hat giveaway, right? Our Got Your Back hats. By the way, they're available for purchase on our website. If you go to GYB.com, pod.com. GYBpod.com. And if you click on merch, we've got some hats you can buy right off there. But we're going to give one away tonight for some of our local listeners. Remember, you got to pick this up in store at De Boers. So Struds is going to give us a trivia question. Send your answer to us. You can do that on the website as well. Struddy, go ahead with the trivia question. And if you get it right, your name goes into a draw. We'll let you know, and you can go pick up your hat and $25 in store credit at De Boers.
Heading into the second round of the playoffs, there's going to be a combo of a team versus team where the two coaches previously won a championship together. Tell us which two coaches it is.
Oh, so two coaches in the second round that are about to face off who previously won a championship together.
Yeah. Which two coaches were they?
I like that, Struds. Yeah, I like that one. Okay, so send your answer
They
to
won
us.
it as players or as coaches?
They won a championship. As I can't give it away too much, but you definitely helped.
On the same team, as parts of the same team. Okay,
the same team. Their paychecks said the same thing when they won Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
All right, go to gybpod.com, click on GYB merch, and you can submit your answer to us. And that, of course, is brought to you by the fantastic crew over at De Boers. Golf season, she's underway. So if there's any part of your game that you feel you need to improve or stock up on a little bit, they got great equipment, clubs and bags and apparel and everything that you need. And Scott and TJ Allen Company over there take great care of you. They can do club fittings as well. Just a real friendly atmosphere. Love it over at De Boers. So you can pick up your hat and your $25 in-store credit. Okay, lots of people on the stream. Zuby has been compiling the questions, and we're going to get to that right now. And that's brought to you by Match Eatery and Public House. Great spot to hang out before the game, right? If you're going to the game and you need to grab a bite ahead of time, feel free to stop by. They got great food on the menu, great atmosphere. You can watch the early games on all their big screens as well. Just an awesome spot, real close to the rink for you. Or if you're at the game and want to grab one after, also a great spot to go post-game as well. Matchpub.com is their website. Zuby, hop in, my friend. People still don't understand. We're just messing around with this Weiss Johnson jingle thing. They're taking it so seriously, buds.
I don't know. It's fine. Well, maybe we should. I don't know. It's up to you, pal. Or we could just let it go. But I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I'm good.
All right.
I'm good. Look at this zero hats on the pod tonight. We got this is.
And
as so I think Brownie had hit. I don't think Brownie's got one sewn on. Double A did say this was while Brownie was still on. He said, as he or she joins us every evening and pops into the chat one time to say, wow, you three look stunning tonight. Bravo. It's always something very complimentary of the appearance. The three of course, that came in while Brownie was on, so it's not referring to me. But I'm going to apply it to us as there's three of us here with a completely
love
hatless.
The positive energy. Love the positive
completely
energy. Completely
hatless. Okay, a couple things, a couple comments on the Oilers. Lots of comments on other teams too, which I want to get to. But let's do the Oilers ones first. KD says Oil fans will carry the team tomorrow. I have faith. This group is mature as hell this year. It's a different team. What do you think about the team's maturity and is how big of an advantage is home ice when you want to try to close a team out?
I think the excitement's great, and you want to come out. And I don't think they're at the point where they want any more of putting on a show for their home fans. They want to win, right? And then that not that they don't want to put a show on for home fans, but it's not like that's hey, we got to be flying around. They know how to play. They know they've closed other series out, so they have done it before. What have they done in the last three in the last 2 years, guys? They've won series, so
yeah,
I think they have experience in it, and they'll lean on that experience. And Stu Skinner's been through it now. He's been through a really tight game last one. He won a series last year. He's been through playoffs. So I think they're going to be mature about it. I do think tomorrow it closes out.
Scoring first too, hey Struds. Like if you can pounce on them a little bit, get the nerves going, get the squeezing the stick deal going. Like I think all that, getting that first goal, I think would be a big deal.
And more obviously more chances shots at big save Dave Riddick.
Yeah, 100%.
Mike Smith wants to know if the Oil and Avs do end up meeting, which team do you consider the underdog, or which team do you think Vegas will consider the underdog? Or maybe that's a two-part question.
Yeah, I mean, standings-wise, they were super close. Health-wise, if they're both reasonably healthy, that matters too. I'm not sure, actually, what that would look like, Struds. Yeah. Probably be pretty close.
I think I don't want to really comment. I'd have to look at it, and we're pretty far away from that. But I do think I think I would like to see both teams loading up their big line. We see Rand with Nikushkin has moved up, and McKinnon. I think we'd see Leon, Connor, and then Hyman.
And that's what the Oilers did, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily the last one, but in those 2 matchups in the last month and a half here that mattered, that's what they ended up doing. They started with them on separate lines, and they went to them together.
And I think that, because that's a lot of firepower when you have those two, and then you have Makar, and then is it, whoever, Taze or Manson, whoever. That's a lot to handle. So I think that's I'd like to see that. So I don't want to comment because it's really premature for me to comment on it. I think it'd be pretty damn close. Just off the top of my head.
We'll see what our friends at Play Alberta are saying about the odds if and when that gets up and running. Zuby?
A couple people talking about, with the Nashville winning now, the additional travel for the Canucks. It's a couple of time zones over to Nashville plus the longer flight. How big of a deal is that, Struds? What does that take out of a team who, even if they were to win it in Game 6, thought they were going to close it, maybe thought they were going to close it out tonight? Yeah. How big of a deal is it, really?
Well, it is a big deal. So I really think it's a time change. I always think the time change would get me pretty bad. When I lived in Vancouver, we fly down to LA and come back, same time zone, 3-hour flight, not a big deal. But Vancouver is challenged when they travel, anywhere basically other than California, they're changing time zones, and you're changing 2 time zones. So it does mess you up. And then what did we say the game was going to be on Friday? Is that what we said?
Friday, Sunday, I think we said,
So Friday, you're not leaving after the game and going home. So now Saturday, you get up in Nashville. I'm just going to completely guess, but I'll guess the flight's at, let's say, 9 a.m. So that's 7 a.m. Vancouver time. It's a 4-hour flight or so to get back. Now you're getting home. There's obviously no practice, but it's just a way longer day. If they'd won tonight, there would have been probably a day or 2 off and then a good practice. So it definitely changed what looks like for them going in the second round, assuming they win. But Nashville, they're pesky. They don't give up. They don't just go away easily.
And it's probably, hockey teams are just like the rest of the world, Strudy, in that some guys are going to travel better than others. Some guys are guys that can sleep on planes, and some guy, different players probably handle it, and it affects them differently.
But it's just, you have to keep that idea of going to bed sooner, it's 6 or 10 o'clock in Nashville is 8 o'clock in Vancouver. But you still have to get up for practice the next day or for a morning skate. It's just different. It's just really that's hard.
Zuby, 2 more, bud.
When we used to go to Detroit, that was a 3-hour time change, and you'd get there to be 10 o'clock in Detroit. It was 7 o'clock in Vancouver still.
Yeah,
the body doesn't adjust in over a 4-hour flight. Go ahead, Soup.
Okay, this one doesn't count, Struddy. People want to know who's the Raider behind your head. Is that Bo Jackson on your wall? There's some discussion about
Jackson,
that.
Yeah.
Okay, Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
that was suspected, but
no knows.
Yeah, great commercials. Okay, here's the 2 last one. We're going non-hockey altogether. Stephen Petrick wants to know, what's your favorite non-Edmonton area golf course to play?
Grey Wolf. Grey Wolf is fantastic.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
I think, you know what? I love the whole thing, the Jasper Park Lodge, the golf course. I love just everything.
Yeah.
That's
fantastic. Amazing too.
Yeah, just that whole setup.
Yeah. No, okay. That's a beautiful. And the one time we were out there, my buddies and I, we had just an unreal view of a couple grizzly bear Struds.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Oh man, just so cool. And they do a great job of managing that out there. It's somewhat common. But it was really good. Okay,
last one. We'll end with something super important. Davin says, it's hot dog season. What does everyone put on their hot dogs? If you have the choice, you got a spread of there's every available condiment to you. What are you loading up your dog with, Struddy?
Well, if it's past 2 a.m. and I've had a few cocktails, it's mustard and onions. If it's 6 in the afternoon or 6, it'll just be mustard. Shoggy?
Mustard and onions.
Onions are late night only.
Well, I found they deflected the hangover quite well.
Really? Onions are a hangover cure.
I found it. I don't know.
Preemptive cure. I go heavy on the condiments, so I'll go ketchup, I'll go mayo, I'll go mustard. So lots on there. I'll go. If there's a cheese to sprinkle on there, definitely do that too. If there's a barbecue sauce, a slight drizzle, and then a little bit of relish. And I actually like lettuce. I like lettuce on a hot dog too, which is.
Oh, your white golf shirts don't stand a chance.
Good
How
about you, buddy?
I load up for sure. Cheese, onions, relish. Those would be the must-haves. And then I'm probably going to get some mustard on there, and mayo for sure, and maybe if I go mayo, no ketchup. I don't love them together, so it's one or the other. But ketchup's good on a dog too. Do you know? Have you guys ever been? You know all the street vendors in like Seattle and Portland and that stuff. You know what's the big go-to thing there? Do you know, Strudy? You're nodding.
I don't know.
They put cream cheese on the buns. They toast buns and they put cream cheese on the buns, and that's like if you don't ask for it, you're getting it anyway. That's what goes on there. On their toasted hot dog buns. It's pretty good. It's one of those things you're eating it at 3 a.m. outside the pub, and you're like, I would have never thought of this, but it's good.
That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by Match Eatery and Public House. Time now for our play of the day, brought to you by Play Alberta. The playoffs are nuts, right? And at this time of year, Play Alberta is making it even crazier. Make a deposit with promo code GYB50. That'll snag you a $50 free sports bet with your next deposit. They've got unbeatable promotions throughout the playoffs with 10-plus odds boosts on every Oiler playoff game. Bonus terms and conditions apply, but playalberta.ca is the website. Strudy, what do we got tonight, my friend?
Specific play by Joseph Wall in overtime.
Okay.
Just that he played well all game, but that overtime, the way Boston came out, that overtime play by Joseph Wall, like the entire 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That to me is the play of the day. He may have saved their season.
Yeah.
Or prolonged it at least.
He was really good, man, and steady, right? Coming in. Some were making the argument before that it was maybe a game late to make that switch. And yet he comes in and plays a real solid game. And it's been, I think April 16th or something was his last start. So it'd been a couple weeks too, Struds.
Yeah, no, I think that was huge for them. In overtime, there was multiple chances by Boston.
Mike Smith says lettuce on a hot dog. I mean, really, it's like using utensils to eat a chicken wing. I know. It's pretentious. It's ridiculous. It's just the way I eat. I can't explain it. I have some strange, quirky eating habits, and lettuce on a hot dog is one of them.
You got to get your vegetables in sometime.
Lettuce with a hot dog, vegetables with a hot dog chaser. There you go.
Checks the box. Yep, checks the box.
All right, that'll wrap up the show tonight. Zuby, great job tonight, my friend. I know it was a little bumpy technically for us in the beginning, and that was out of your control, but you grabbed control of this thing and did a great job. Thanks, Struds. We'll see you after the game tomorrow.
Yeah, can't wait, guys.
Sounds good. Thanks to all of you for joining us on the live stream, downloading us in podcast format as well. Really appreciate it. Look forward to chatting again tomorrow night after Game 5. Will the Oilers close it out? It's going to be interesting to see if they can come up with a mature performance. Big thanks to Sherwood Buick GMC, our presenting sponsor. Talk soon, everyone.